Hello everyone, today we're talking about the most important skill you can ever learn, infinite patience. Hello, infinite patience is what we're talking about today. It's something that I try and practice all the time and has always worked out for me, so I'm glad we can talk about it and share with it. And as always, I'm going to begin with a quote, and that quote is, holding on to anything is like holding on to your breath. You will suffocate. The only way to get anything in the physical universe is by letting go of it. Let go and it will be yours forever. Deepak Chopra. Powerful words from Deepak. I know this is so true. It's such a true statement, especially when it comes to human interaction, relationships and the people you meet, knowing that you mustn't hold on, you must have patience. Things will change, things will get better, or things will get different, or things will get worse, but they will change, and you need to be part of that. You need to ride those waves. How many times have you made a snap decision on a relationship that you regretted later? How often have you snapped at someone you loved and then realised that you just don't want to talk to people that you love like that? It's because we just don't have the patience to allow the universe to manifest its story a little bit better. We're always jumping in. It's like when you're trying to tell a story and someone goes, oh, that's because da-da-da-da-da, and you think, well, I haven't finished the story, and it's not because of that, and you're interpreting my story before I've finished it. I think the universe gets like that a lot. It gets a bit frustrated because it's trying to show us an unfolding story. Sometimes we don't have the patience to actually watch it unfold. We jump in too quick and ruin it. My personal story is that I made a decision based on some of the things that happened in my life that I always pushed the trigger too quickly. For example, I would take a deal before the deal was mature, or I would take an offer before the offer was what I wanted, or I took a job before things were quite right, or I jumped to a relationship before things were right there. And I looked at my life and I realised I've never waited too long, which is my major fear. I always felt like if I wait too long, I'll miss out. And I thought, well, I've never waited too. I've never tried that. I've always told myself, you better do this now before you don't get it. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to wait too much now. I'm going to go to the position where I could very well lose everything by waiting and see how that played out. And what happened was remarkable. Things started meeting my conditions. Things started coming to me rather than me having to grasp. And I learnt this through the next 8 ways. So number 1, labour without the need for fruit. The incredible Bhagavad Ghita, which I think all school children should read. When Krishna is talking to Arjuna, from God's perspective, he talks about, you'll be happy in life if you do good work, but you don't worry about the fruit of that work. It's a really important concept to understand. It's quite often we get impatient and angry because we believe we have done something should equal something else. We believe that we got someone a present, therefore they should send us a text and tell us they love them. And when that doesn't happen, we get angry. So all the fun and good work and the love of that creation has disappeared. But a different perspective is to give someone a gift out of pure love, not expecting any fruits from that, and knowing that no matter what happens, you will be happy and you'll be fine because you did the labour without the needing the fruits. Therefore, if they come back and they say, thank you very much, that's even a bonus on top. Number 2, knowledge that you won't be punished for waiting. The universe doesn't punish you. It never punishes you. You won't be punished for being patient and waiting. Things may change, and yes, from time to time there may be superficial things you miss out on, but you won't be punished because you will have a better perspective of the situation. Number 3, perspective. Perspective is so important. I often talk about the story of the woman who went on her first ski trip to Switzerland and been waiting her whole life to do it, and on the first day she broke her leg and was in hospital. At that point, she would have thought that it was a total waste of time and money, and she would have felt very, very down. However, during that time, she meets a doctor who she falls in love with and eventually marries the man of her dreams, and years later, she looks on that situation as being the best thing that ever happened to her. So what changed? Perspective. 4, allowing conditions to favour you. When you read the great works of Sun Tzu, the military author, or really when you look at any honest, legitimate businessman who understands how luck is very important rather than that they're just the smartest person in the room, you know that allowing conditions to favour you is everything. We all know that we should take the high ground, militarily, and also morally take the high ground. And when conditions are ready, people will listen and understand you. Yes, there'll be situations in which timing is not right, and you need to appreciate those situations. Rather than force your way into those situations,
you should look at allowing conditions to favour you. The classic example would be when someone doesn't want to talk to you about maybe some relationship troubles, but you really do, so you just talk over the top of them and start talking to them when they're not in the mood, and it ends up getting real bad. That's a classic situation of not allowing the conditions to favour you. Hold on with some patience and talk to that individual in a calm, relaxed manner. Number 5, impatience is not knowing your worth. If you knew your worth, you would get it every single time. But we don't know our worth, and we take jobs, and we take salaries, and we take relationships, and we take food that just doesn't serve us because we don't know our worth. We don't know how amazing we are, and we're willing to undercut ourselves to get what's in front of us. Number 6, ignore FOMO. FOMO stands for fear of missing out, and marketers have used it for years. You'll see it when it says last 6, a deal ends January 21st, all that sort of stuff. People just genuinely don't want to miss out. Ignore it. You will miss out on things. It is much better to miss out on something than put yourself in a situation where you have something you don't want. Classic examples, when people go to an auction, they overpay for a house that isn't quite right for them because they fear of missing out because there's so many people at the auction, only to realise that missing out on that house might have been a very good thing. Number 7, understand that you will be okay. Your story is intertwined with the story of the universe, and you're going to be okay. And being patient and knowing that really allows you to deal with the things that come your way. And finally, the alternative to patience is anger and frustration. So, I mean, there's not a lot of alternatives. You might sit there going, I'm not great at being frustrated. I'm not very good at being patient. I know I don't want to practice patience. That's okay. But understand you'll be very angry and very frustrated for the rest of your life. And isn't that a good enough reason to really look at how patient you are in your life? With patience, we all get there. I know we will. The earth was created with patience, and we were too. So it's definitely something to think about, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.